Analyzing nonverbal communication. What is nonverbal communication? Nonverbal communication refers to facial expressions, body language, gesture, posture, touch, eye contact, tone of voice, clothing, and other ways that we communicate without using language. It is mostly innate and unconscious and often happens without us thinking about it. 55 to 60% of what we say is through nonverbal communication. Now let's take a look at a few photographs and see if we can deduce the visual story they are telling us. We will do this through observing a few key things about the subject: facial expressions, body language, physical distance, appearance, which can be things like clothes, and artifacts, which can be uniforms. And then context, which is the story that you can learn from putting all the nonverbal messages together. In this man's photo, the corners of his mouth are drawn back and up. His mouth is parted, exposing his teeth, and his cheeks are raised with a wrinkle running from his nose to his lips, creating a full-face, genuine smile. This man is expressing happiness. His hand is on top of his head with his elbows out. He's pointing his elbow toward what he is looking at or interested in. He is dressed professionally. The style of his clothes help tell us what era he is from, and his hat and the badge on his hip tell us he could possibly be law enforcement. Putting all the nonverbal clues together, we can surmise that this officer has likely seen something that surprised him and caused him to take his hat off in joy and amusement. In this girl's photo, her eyebrows are lowered and drawn together. Her lips are slightly drawn up, and she has a wrinkled nose with raised cheeks. Her gaze is to the right, indicating the person she's looking at might be standing in that direction. Her arms are crossed and her hand is up, blocking her body. She is likely feeling defensive, vulnerable, and anxious. Her physical proximity to the women around her is very close, as they touch her shoulder. They are likely her family or close friends. Her clothing is comfortable. This young girl is probably apprehensive and distrusting of a stranger, possibly the person taking her picture. In this man's photo, his eyebrows are relaxed and drawn together. His lips are slightly drawn up and his cheeks are slightly raised with a slight wrinkle between his nose and mouth. His gaze is focused down towards what is occupying his attention. His body is performing an action as he swings his tool. His shoulders are relaxed and open, and his posture is upright. He is confident in what he's doing. His head is down and focused. He's wearing a long-sleeve collared shirt, a vest, and a leather apron. He has a blunt hammer in his hand, and his environment has bricks, wood, and metal. This man is likely a blacksmith who is hard at work. He likes his job and is happy and confident. In this lady's photo, her eyes aren't tense or wrinkled and are wide open. Her cheeks are only slightly raised, and there is a small wrinkle from her nose to her outer lip. Her mouth is tense, half smiling, and only engages her mouth instead of her full face, indicating that her smile is not genuine. Her posture is straight, her arms are across her lap and clenched together, which could indicate self-restraint, or clenching back a negative reaction like anxiousness. Her knees pointing away from the camera person, which could indicate she wants to exit the situation, but her gaze is tender and focused on the person taking her picture. She is dressed very nicely, and her hair is tidy. She is probably dressed up to get her picture taken. This lady is getting her picture taken, which makes her feel anxious and uncomfortable. Based on her gaze, she likely has affection for the picture taker, which makes her feel happy and a little more secure.